Now I will request Guru Prasad sir to carry on with the session. Please, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, all of you, and a very good morning to Professor H.N. Singh sir and Dr. Sudhir Agarwal and all the coordinators over there in Buddha Institute of Technology and all the fellow participants. It's indeed my pleasure to be a part of this webinar series to act as a resource person. And as Dr. Sudhir Agarwal rightly said, that irrespective of the situation and the circumstances that is around us, whether we are in the pandemic situation or we are, leading a general life, attitude matters a lot. And one of the very good statement he said, which I liked very much, was attitude is basically a passport for the better tomorrow, and also a window to the world outside over there. So keeping all these things in mind, and I hope all of you are doing pretty well at your place of stay. And let me start this session. Approximately, my session will go around 90 to 100 minutes. And then we'll leave the floor open for the question and answer session. I just want to know, Ankur, can you see the PowerPoint slides?
No, sir.
Can you see my slides?
No.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the slides?
No, sir. Kindly share it through your screen.
Yeah, can you see now?
Yeah, wait, please.
Yeah, are my PPTs are audio visible?
No, sir. Till now it is not visible, sir. I don't know why it's not coming up.
Actually, I have shared the PPTs.
Okay, sir. Now you can start.
Is it coming now?
Yeah, okay.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you see the PPT now?
Yeah, you can start.
No, my PPTs are visible?
So sometimes it is visible, sometimes it is not visible.
Okay, fine. All right. So
now it is visible.
Okay, right. So as we have seen the the theme of the webinar for the next 3 days, it lies on the topic called as a negative mind will never give you a positive life. So this particular theme we have divided into 3 days. I'll be engaging you guys today for the first day on the topic called as how to remain enthusiastic. And tomorrow my colleague will speak on a very important topic that is called as power of health and mindfulness. And once again, I'll come back day after tomorrow at the same time to talk about dreams and goals. So this is how we have planned this webinar series, and thanks to Buddha Institute of Technology for taking this particular initiative. Now, the session on which I'm going to speak for next 90 to 100 minutes is on how to remain enthusiastic, right? Now, enthusiasm is one of the words which always troubles our mind, actually. A lot of people you come across in your life who are enthusiasm, who are not so very enthusiastic. Some are very dull, some are very positive, wagera, you keep on getting people across the world like this, actually. Now, before I dwell into the actual aspects of the session, let me tell you that, there is something called as eraser in our life. When we were going to schools or probably when we were going to colleges, we have made a lot of mistakes while writing particularly. And then we used erasers to basically, rectify that particular mistake. So people actually say that erasers are made for those who make mistakes, right? Now, everything in this world is actually made or created for a particular reason. Erasers also are one such. Erasers are made to correct mistakes while we are studying or learning in schools or colleges. And all of us agree with me that we have used erasers to a very large extent in our school life and college life. And we are still using, even today, we use erasers in our office, in our, in our organizations to just erase certain things when we make mistakes. But let me also tell you that according to me, erasers are made for those who are willing to correct their mistakes. Mistakes is actually a birthright of every human being. Born as a human being, we are bound to commit mistakes. But I personally feel that we use erasers if we are willing to correct our mistakes. There's a thin line difference between the first two lines and the last two lines. But any eraser, or you can say any whitener, do not work for the mistake done in the life. And that we have to understand very, very carefully. It becomes memory. The mistake that we do in our life becomes a memory and it becomes a past. And you all agree that we cannot erase our past with any eraser that is available in this particular world. So we come into this world without instruction manual, right? Now you all agree, right? If you are students of engineering, of course, any other stream also you'll have this. But let me, as an example, take the fraternity of engineering division, where we have students and we have faculty members, right? I myself, I'm a professor in computer science, and we give manuals to the students actually, right? Now, say for example, if we are talking about programming language in C or data structures or computer networks or any other, we give instruction manual to the students, and same thing holds good in subjects like physics or chemistry or even mechanical subjects or electrical or electronic subjects, right? Now, the reason why we give this manual is to make life of the students very, very simple, right? So any experiment or any program you are finding it difficult, majority of the students in today's context, they just pick up the manual, they turn the pages around, and then they'll find the algorithm flowchart or probably the source code entirely written, absolutely free of errors. And then they'll end up typing the code on the editor and then they compile and get the output. But life is not like that. We all come into this world without instruction manual. What is this? Now, is there anybody in the audience section who at the time of their birth, when they left the hospital with their, you were a small baby at the time, so am I. I was also a small baby. Every one of us, once upon a time, when we were born, on that particular day, we were a very small baby. And we remained to be babies for quite some time, actually. Now, did this happen with any one of us that, after 2-3 days of your birth, when you and your mother leaves the portals of the hospital along with your father, right? You are very well taken care in the arms of your mother, and then your father settles the bill of the hospital, and then you proceed to go out of the hospital and reach your beautiful home. Now, at the time of leaving the hospital, did the nurse who was looking after your mother and yourself, or the doctor who was taking care with all the stuffs, did they come and handed over a sort of instruction manual to your mother, saying that, madam, this is the manual which tells exactly how you have to bring up your baby, how you have to bring up your little boy, how you have to bring up your little girl? No. It is the life that actually gives us all the lessons. So that's what I say. You need to write your own instruction manual. So my point is this, that without knowing anybody in this world, you took birth, and you're going to leave this world after some time. And I don't want any one of you to leave this world with this pandemic, actually, right? So birth and death, once you are born, death is ultimate. But the fact is this, that why we are so much afraid of living this life at its fullest, at its best, and enjoy every moment of life. Pandemic is a part of life. Nobody wanted this, actually. Let me tell you very honestly, nobody wanted this. In fact, I never dreamt that these type of things will happen on this beautiful earth, right? In fact, I traveled 4 states in the month of January, and then suddenly in March, all these things happens. We basically need to write our own instruction manual. Is there any instruction manual available in the world which tells that, this is how you have to lead your life? No. Then my sincere suggestion and advice to the students community is, why do you want manual for every walk of your career, every walk of your educational career, as a matter of fact, right? So let us face this world. Let us face the problems. It doesn't matter. For every problem in this world, let me tell you, time is the solution. Time is the solution for all problems. The 2 important days in someone's life, right, is very important, is the day you were born, which I don't deny, right? Every one of us sitting here in this webinar, we are 100% sure about our date of birth. That is not important for me, because I will not make a statement anywhere on this earth that you do not know your date of birth. Every one of us will know. But more than that, what is more important is, have we discovered the day why we were born, actually? And these are 2 important things in somebody's life. And the day we discover why we were born, let me tell you, the things will totally change for you. And let us say, if you are born in 1990, right, or let us say you are approximately 22 to 24 years old today, and then you do not discover, you have still not discovered as to why you are born, according to me, I think you have wasted 22 to 24 years of your precious life. So the choice is yours, because you cannot change your date of birth. But the day you discover why you are born, that is always in your hands. So success does not mean the absence of failures. It actually means the attainment of ultimate objectives, right? Do not let your failures define you. Failures is a stepping stone of success, correct? If you look at any successful story in this world, there is no successful story written without the story of failures, right? Failure is the stepping stone of success. You can't let your failures define you. You have to let them to teach you, actually. And that is very important. Let failures teach you. That's why I always recommend my students, do not read successful stories, read failure stories, because it teaches you, actually. And it tells you to show what exactly you have to do the next time, right? For example, if I recollect what an important and powerful message that was given to the students by the former president of the United States, Mr. Barack Obama, right? He said that persistence and perseverance, I repeat, persistence and perseverance are particularly the so-called important traits for students who struggle in schools and colleges. It means winning the war and not every battle. So, how to begin your day? We always say that we have 24 hours every day with us, and we have 7 days a week and 365 days a year, actually, right? If you are talking about a non-leap year. Now the question is, how do we begin your day, right? The first and the foremost thing is, when you start your day, do you know what you are going to do with a fresh lease of 24 hours in your hand? I'm not very sure how many of you got up at at 5 o'clock in the morning today, or 6 o'clock in the morning. Because it's the first day of the week, it is quite possible that you would have got up earlier. But do you have this routine followed, that you get up every day at the same time, irrespective of whatever it is? In the sense, irrespective of whether it is a working day or a holiday or a festival, right? For all those who know me out there, even today I got up at 4 o'clock, and that's my routine, actually. From 4 decades, I have been getting up at 4 o'clock. It does not matter. Now, the question is that once you get up, do you know what exactly you are going to do for the next 24 hours that God has given you, this beautiful gift on this planet Earth, actually, right? No. 95%, the literature survey shows that 95% of the world's population, what we call it as humanity, has got no clue that why they get up in the morning. It's so funny, actually. Somebody would have, not to underestimate any one of you, but somebody would have got up today, at 9 o'clock. Oh, there is a webinar. I've already registered. I don't know why they keep early morning at 10 o'clock. And then you just get up and, come fast and hook on to the website or the link, and you join the webinar, right? Somebody would have got up at 8 o'clock. Somebody would have got up at 7 o'clock. It is immaterial at what time you get up, actually. But then you should know what is it that you are going to do. Do you have a strict plan of action, an agenda for the day that you have chalked out as to what you are going to do for the next 24 hours? How can I make difference in somebody's life, whether it's going to be a personal or it is going to be a professional, right? But that's not the situation across the world actually. Majority of the people, that's why I have 5% of the people why they have clue as to why they get up actually in the morning. So life is not accountable to us, right? Now, even though we know our date of birth, and let us say we have not discovered as to why we are born, right? And I said sometimes back that we have lost precious 20, 25 years of life so far. Life is not accountable. We are accountable to life. And majority of us live life as if we have one more in the bank account. And we say that, okay, sir, whatever you are going to tell us now, we will definitely implement, but not in this particular life. Let me go to the bank and encash the one more life that I have in my savings bank account, and I'll get back and implement it, whatever you are telling it. No, it's not happens. We have only one life, and we are proceeding towards the end of our life. Understand this. As and when we progress in our life, we are older. We get one day older than yesterday, right? And the only thing that you get free of cost in this world is your old age. And that's the fact. Even you believe or you don't believe, that's the fact actually. So it is up to the individual to decide what is going to be your contribution to this world. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And that's the beautiful quotation I have extracted, that 10% is what happens to you and 90% you react to it. I give a simple example. In the introduction it was told that I have 25 plus years of experience in teaching. Over past 2.5 decades, I have come across variety sections of students, heterogeneous group of students across various cities in our country. A common thing that I have found is you get one of the university question paper as a little bit tough, and you're not able to do it at your best, and you start telling all reasons in this world. Arey yaar, that paper was so tough, bloody, did not, such type of questions were not asked for past 4 or 5 years, because majority of the students, what they do is they just pick up the last 4 to 5 years of question paper, go through those questions. They just pick up the questions randomly from those question papers, and they themselves can frame a sort of a question paper which is going to come this time, right? So a question paper coming tough as a part of your university examination is a mere 10% actually. But then how do you react? Arey yaar, that paper was tough. Never in the history of university like that had come. Why the hell it should come for me only, right? My teacher did not teach that. I left this question and bloody that question only came. I mean, how do you react it actually? So what is extremely important is you need to have patience. Along with attitude, extremely important for you is to have patience. Because according to me, a man without patience is like a lamp without an oil. So let me ask you one thing. Of course, I'm not going to get the answers, right? Because how do you cope up with the monotony of life and still remain enthusiasm, right? Monotony of life. Something that is monotonous is very boring actually, right? What is monotony of life? I have seen, the students getting up in, the college is at 9 o'clock, they get up at 8 o'clock. Sometimes they are forced to get up by their parents. Their mother forces him or her to get up and say, hey, you get up, there is already time is over and you have to go to the college, and the bus fellow is going to come in any amount of time, right? And then you rush to the college, you are late to the class by 5-6 minutes. The teacher scolds you, but somehow you are inside the campus. You attend the classes, you attend the laboratories, and then 4 o'clock, 4:30, you catch the bus, come home, throw the bag here and there, watch some TV, fight with your brother, sister, then somehow land up getting some dinner and then hit the bed. And again, next day, the mechanical life starts, right? So this is a monotony of life, which is by and large with every one of us. But the beauty of individual is, with all this monotony of life, which has its own regular, repeated pattern which never changes, according to me, how do you remain enthusiasm? right? That is what I'm going to cover in next couple of slides. Now, certain characteristics, certain inputs to every one of you to ensure that how do you remain enthusiasm with every day that comes in your life, right? I always believe that why can't the world be a better place because of my presence? It's fine. It's fine. If I can make a difference to at least one student when I go inside the class, it's worth living this life. It's worth giving a talk to a set of 50 students. Just imagine, correct? A teacher who has taught quite good number of students in his life got only one student who became Dr. Abdul Kalam and went on to occupy the highest position in our country. Not every student can become Abdul Kalam, but see the amount of happiness derived on the face of that particular teacher who had taught the great Dr. Abdul Kalam sir over a period of time, right? So if you can make a difference to one person, it doesn't matter whether it's your personal life or a professional life. Let me tell you, gentlemen, it's worth living this particular life on this beautiful planet Earth. So, how do you cope up with the monotony of life and still remain enthusiasm? The first thing I always tell students is to smile, right? You know why? Smiling actually boosts your immune system because your whole body actually relaxes when you smile, right? And see the charm on your face. And when you are in a bad mood, smile even if you don't feel like it, right? I would love to tell you to smile even when you are in a bad mood because it immediately improves your mood. Right? I don't have any justification for these things, but let me honestly tell you, whatever I am going to share with you is also my personal experience. I am personally implementing all these things in my walk of life, right? So smiling actually builds your immune system. A smile that comes gently within yourself. It should come with your heart. It should come from your heart. Not a plastic smile. You know, I always tell to my, to my students or my colleagues over there here that a plastic smile is something that you often see in the wedding reception, right? Whenever you, I'm sure every one of you have gone to the wedding reception, right? So in the wedding reception, what is the normal procedure, right? You just take a, I'm sure you would love to take a gift to the bride and the bridegroom, irrespective of from whom you have been called. And then you go on a stage, you hand over the gift, you say congratulations to the newly married couple, and then you stand with them for a photograph and a small couple of seconds video takes place, and then they say please go and have a dinner. Now when you go onto the stage, you find that you just observe the wedding reception when you go next time. If you're not observed, I do this actually. Just don't go on the stage actually, just be outside the stage and you watch very closely the bride and the bridegroom, right? So more or less, they will be doing it. Namaskara, namaskara, aiye, aap log aiye, aaram se aiye, khana khaiye, jaiye, right? All these things they do actually. That is not a smile that comes within the heart. It's a plastic smile, I feel actually. It's basically a plastic smile. Why I am telling you this? Because both bride and bridegroom are not interested in you. Let me honestly tell you. They are not interested in you. They might, some of you who are attending the session might differ with me, but that's the perception. That's okay, right? So they are not interested in you, right? And what is everybody's role over there, right? So the girl's father is the most happiest person over there. He thinks that one of the great project of my life is over. My daughter is now in the safe hands. She is going to lead her life fantastically. On the other hand, the boy's mother is very tensed. She will say what type of daughter-in-law I'm going to get, whether my life is going to continue the same way or it is going to become a hell or whatever it is. And people like us who go to the reception, we are always targeting the dining hall actually. We are actually targeting the dining section where we are thinking, yeah, what is it that we are going to get? Nice, beautiful, tasty food actually. So chalo, jaldi, we just go hand over the gift and then hit the dining hall. In fact, I also do that. I mean, there's nothing wrong in that actually. Now, the point is the bride and the bridegroom, they are actually thinking about where should we go for a honeymoon, right? which place is good, whether should we go to Switzerland, or we go to New Zealand, or any other place. There are quite beautiful countries on this planet Earth. South Africa is one good place where I had been. It's a fantastic place actually. So they will be thinking as to where they should go and spend their honeymoon. So that type of smile is what is called as plastic smile. Please don't have that. A smile that comes within yourself, right? When you walk in the portals of your college, when you walk in your department, you just give a good smile and say, hey, good morning. Something like, when you see a professor or a HOD or a director or anybody, you just say, good morning, sir, namaste, sir. A gentle smile that comes. It does not matter whether the opposite person reacts to your wish. No. You know what? Let me tell you that when a teacher enters the class, all of you stand up and you say, good morning, sir, good morning, madam. Do you know what it means? It never tells anything about that particular teacher who enters your class. Believe me, when you wish somebody, when you stand and wish somebody, it tells the culture that you people come from. And that is very important, right? By wishing somebody, by talking nicely to somebody, you are demonstrating your own culture. And that matters a lot, right? And then you have something called as enthusiasm. Life should be filled with a lot of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is actually a Greek word which says that enthu is actually within yourself and ziasm is a god. And now ziasm is a word which is related to God in Greek actually. So the greatest benefit of enthusiasm is that it is infectious, correct? It's actually infectious. So whenever you are enthusiastic, you inspire others. And that is why I call it as infectious, right? You inspire others, therefore they will do their task in a much better way. They will hasten your journey. This sort of enthusiasm will actually hasten your journey towards success, right? I would love to have all of you to be enthusiastic, not only at the beginning of the day, but even at the end of the day, right? Say, for example, if you work in an organization whose timings is, say, 9 to 5, right? At 9 o'clock when you enter the organization, you should be enthusiastic, right? And thinking that you are going to make a difference in somebody's life today. But not only that, you should also still remain enthusiastic at 4:30 or 5 o'clock when you come out of your organization. The amount of enthusiasm should not diminish, should not come down, right, as the day progresses. No, right? So full day if you are enthusiastic. I know sometimes you get tired, sometimes you're not feeling well. They're all part and parcel of life, right? So I know if somebody is not feeling well, obviously you have to take rest. That's the monotony of life. But then enthusiasm is something where you not only encourage you yourself to do the task, you'll encourage your surroundings, your friends, your colleagues, your fellow colleagues in the department. By seeing you enthusiastic, it is quite possible they will also become enthusiasm and work at the same pace at which you are working. So with smile and enthusiasm, there is something called as try, right? How high should we aim actually? You always keep telling the students that, try, there's nothing wrong, you will definitely get it, right? Try and try till you get success. That's what they say. So the point is, do not aim at stars and compromise on rooftops. That's not very good actually. I always feel that whatever you have aim in your life, keep it very, very transparent in front of you and work towards that to achieve what you want in life. In fact, more on this, which comes as a part of dreams and goals that I'll be covering in day after tomorrow's session actually. So that's what I said, dream, right? No amount of misfortune can ever diminish your dream even by 1%. That is my favorite statement. And I always believe on this. More on this, I'll let you know day after tomorrow. So that comes what is called as motivation. Once you have your life is filled with smile and then you are enthusiastic, you have certain aims and goals in life, there is something called as motivation. A lot of successful stories in this world have been built on the story of failures. This is what I have told. But then, how do you want to write your success story in life, right? It can be either through inspiration or it can be through desperation. As a matter of fact, scientists have defined motivation as your general willingness to do something. According to me, it's a set of psychological forces that compel you to take action, right? Motivation is often the result of action and not the cause of it, right? So let me give you a simple example of motivation. Whenever I talk about motivation to the to the audience, or as a matter of fact, whenever I give a talk, the best example that actually comes in my mind is of a person whose name is Andrew Carnegie. Now, I do not know how many of you know Andrew Carnegie was when he came to United States from Scotland, he was 11 years old actually. And over a period of time, he became one of the millionaire in United States. He was steel magnate in United States. What today we know Lakshmi Mittal in United Kingdom, like that in 1900s, particularly if I'm right in 1930s, Andrew Carnegie was a steel magnate in United States. Now, what happened with Andrew Carnegie? Andrew Carnegie had a grown-up daughter, and when his daughter came up to a marriage stage, what Andrew Carnegie did is he invited all the eligible bachelors to United States, in United States to his house, all eligible bachelors. So quite good number of eligible bachelors went to Andrew Carnegie's house. His house was tremendously big and a lot of open space and everything was there. And there was a huge party actually thrown by Andrew Carnegie. And then a lot of dishes were there. Most of them were non-vegetarian, but then there were some vegetarian foods, then drinks, soft drinks, hot drinks, everything, you name it, you have there as a part of the menu actually. So all the eligible bachelors enjoyed their dinner, enjoyed their food, and then after once everything was over, there was a stage put up over there, and Andrew Carnegie actually stood up on that particular stage, and then he just called everybody like this, and he said, "Your attention, please, all of you." And then everybody started looking at Andrew Carnegie. And then Andrew Carnegie addresses everybody and says that, I hope you all enjoyed food. The reason I have called you is this. You look there, there's a huge pond. In that particular pond, I have put 3 deadly crocodiles. So everybody, curiosity looks at that particular pond, and actually there are 3 deadly crocodiles in the pond actually. And what Andrew Carnegie tells to these to these eligible bachelors is, any one of you who jump in that particular pond and swims from this part of the pond to that part of the pond, escaping from the clutches of the crocodile, you will get $10 million cash. If you're not interested in money, you will get 1,000 acres of land. Even the land does not motivate you or fascinates you, then you can marry my daughter and take care of my entire wealth. Got it? Now this is what Andrew Carnegie tells. Now the moment Andrew Carnegie tells the last point, there is a huge splash in the pond. And everybody is surprised. And everybody looks at the pond and they say, "Oh my God, there's already a guy who has already jumped in." And when you closely observe that guy was wearing a pant, a shirt, a tie, a blazer, everything with formal shoes and socks. He has jumped. He did not even bother to remove any one of his clothes, and he directly jumped inside the pond. And then everybody started pushing, everybody started moving towards the pond. And then they saw that guy and telling, "Hey, run, man, run fast, pond, go and touch the other side of the pond, fast, crocodiles are behind." And this guy is looking at the back, and, he's already shivering, and a lot of, he's little bit anxiety. He's getting frightened because he could see 3 deadly crocodiles coming at the back, and he's pushing hard the water, and he keeps, and all the the friends or the so-called bachelors who were there standing on the either side of the pool, They're telling, hey, run, man, run, 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 run. And this fellow is putting a lot of efforts. And finally, after some time, he reaches the other side of the pond or the pool. And then he comes out of the pool. You can imagine the situation actually. Correct. In Indian context, the situation when a dog runs behind you. Correct. A majority of you would have encountered, particularly when you are going in a two-wheeler. You ride a two-wheeler and then the dog comes behind you barking. Right. Either you increase your escalator and run away from the scene, or you try to kick off the dog by shaking your legs like anything, or you suddenly stop the scooter, right? But any of these three things that you do, correct, the dog will stop for a second and he will return back, right? He never bites you actually. Most of the time I have seen, right, a barking dog never bites. That's what is the saying actually. He just barks, comes behind you, behind your two-wheeler, and then stops and then goes behind. It's a meaningless goal according to me. I didn't understand as to at first instance why he's barking actually, right? So, but just imagine if sometimes we feel a little bit afraid. We are frightened when we see a barking dog coming behind us, and that are 3 crocodiles actually, man. Just imagine how will be the situation, right? If 3 crocodiles are behind you, I mean, I don't know. God only should save us. And then, that guy comes out there and then he's fully gone, he's fully tired, he's fully having a breathing problem. Like this also he's trying to breathe. And then Andrew Carnegie comes and says, hey, come on, all of you, giving way, get a beautiful chair. He gets a beautiful chair. He makes that guy sit on the chair, get me the towel. He gets the towel and tries to, wipes the head of the guy and all those things and says, hey, give him some air, make him more comfortable. He will remove his tie and all those things. And then after a couple of minutes, Andrew Carnegie says, hey, my dear boy, my dear young man, I'm very proud of you. You are so courageous that you jumped in the pond where I have kept 3 deadly crocodiles. You escaped from the clutches of crocodile and you reached the floor. I have changed my mind. Instead of giving you $10 million, I'm going to give you $20 million. And suddenly Andrew Carnegie says, hey, come here. He calls his cashier and says, get me $20 million cash. And the cashier brings a suitcase and a briefcase with $20 million cash. And he hands it over to Andrew Carnegie, who says, take this, my boy. This is for your courage attitude. The young man slowly touches the briefcase and throws it and tells Andrew Carnegie, I don't want money. Andrew Carnegie says, oh, really? You don't want any money? Good. I will give you land. I'll give you 1,000 acres of land. So he calls his chartered accountant and asks him to prepare the paper, and he takes the paper and he signs it and says, take this. This is 1,000 acres of land in the United States. This is for you. You can enjoy. Do whatever you want on this particular land. So that young man slowly holds that paper in his hand, tears it totally like this, and throws and says, I don't want your land also. Suddenly Andrew Carnegie says, oh, you don't want cash. You don't want land. I know. You are interested in my daughter. You want to marry her and take care of my health. Sorry, take care of my wealth. Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm happy because my daughter will be in the safe hands. A man who is so courageous, right? You will definitely take care of my daughter. So he calls his daughter and says, my dear, this is a man whom I want you to marry. He's very courageous. He will definitely take care of you. And he tries to give his daughter's hand to that young man's hand. With great difficulty now, the young man stands up and throws his daughter away and says, I don't want to marry your daughter. By listening this, Andrew Carnegie becomes surprised. He says, I don't understand. You don't want cash, you don't want land, and you don't want to marry my good-looking daughter. What on this earth, particularly in the United States, you want, my dear? You tell me. I am in a position to get you this. You name it. It will be there with you in next couple of minutes. To this, with great difficulty, that man says, "Sir, please tell me the name of the bastard who pushed me inside." So what I'm trying to say with this is motivation, right? Now there's a saying in English that if you want to learn swimming, you have to be inside the water, right? Now, if somebody would have not pushed that guy, he would have never jumped, because who is not afraid of death actually? And if life is there, we can earn millions and millions of dollars. But somebody pushed him actually. He didn't voluntarily jump. Somebody pushed him from behind, right? And once he finds himself in the water with 3 deadly crocodiles behind him, tell me what choice he has on this earth. He don't have any choice than to move forward, right? Hit his leg and hands like anything and then move forward to reach the destination. That is why, my dear, I'm telling you that obstacles are something you see only when you take your eyes off the goals, right? And hence, motivation is often the result of the action and not the cause of it, right? Getting started, even in very small ways, is a form of active inspiration that naturally produces the momentum. Okay, so that is what is called as motivation. Then, love your work, right? Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, whether you're working in engineering college as a teacher, as a professor, as a dean, or you're working in any organization or in IT industry as a software engineer or a project leader or a project manager, or you are an entrepreneur. Let me tell you, your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied to do what you believe is great work, right? And the only way to do great work is to love what you're doing, right? That is why I always say that choose a job that you love. You don't need to work a single day, right? One of the best example I always feel about telling about love your work is that of former president of United States, Abraham Lincoln, right? In the Battle of Gettysburg, which was fought, right? Abraham Lincoln once visited the Battle of Gettysburg as a courtesy to motivate his soldiers who were fighting there. So, as a protocol, when president actually arrives, you have a major who actually accompanies the president, and the major at that point of time was actually a drunkard. And whenever you drink a lot, of course I don't drink, that's a different story. Whenever you drink a lot, you have to keep on visiting the washroom very frequently. So when Abraham Lincoln reached the spot, he went on to speak to every soldier and asking them about their whereabouts and how are they doing and all those things, trying to motivate his soldiers. And he was actually shaking hands with every one of them, right? And this major was in a hurry to go to the washroom, but he cannot break the protocol. And he was a little bit, sort of a shaky manner and all those things. He wanted to go to the washroom, but he was seeing that president is not coming out of there. And then after some time, he loses his patience. And he says, "Mr. President, if you keep on shaking hands with everybody, you will lose your hand." For this, what president says is, "Don't worry, just hold on." And he calls some of his, people over there and says, "Bring me that big log of wood, actually. Bring me that big log of wood." So the soldiers brings big log of wood, keeps in front of, they put it on the ground over there in front of the president, and then the president tells, "Give me that axe, that axe that they use to cut the log of the wood." And then president keeps his one leg on the log of the wood and he keeps chopping the wood, right? And after some time, he cuts the log of the wood into 2 pieces, throws the axe there and says, "See, my hands are absolutely perfect, actually." Now to this, the major says that, "Mr. President, you become a better woodcutter," right? Now let me tell you one thing, that Lincoln's father was actually a carpenter and a farmer, right? Lincoln's father was actually a carpenter, right? Now, when major says that, "President, you become a better woodcutter," there was a beautiful reply given by the president. He says, Yes, Mr. Major, I would have become a better woodcutter provided my father would have taught me the art of woodcutting. I did not love the art of woodcutting, right? I took up studies, I took up politics, I took up economics, and then I became the president of the country, and I'm standing in front of you. So, my dear, what I'm trying to say is love your work, whether it is a personal life, at the professional life, irrespective of what you are doing, correct? There is nothing in this world that it's a cheap work or it's a low work or it's a high work. Every work has got its own importance and its own significance in this world. If you are a teacher, go to the class with full enthusiasm. 50 plus students will be waiting for you to listen to the class, right? And at the same time, if you are a student, correct, love your teaching learning process. There's no other agenda for you in the life than to become a good graduate and live up to the expectations of the society, expectations of your teachers, expectations of the college, and expectations of your parents, right? So understand, you love your work, right? That is where you are going to spend most part of your life. Commitment, right? Extremely important when you have all these things. I keep telling that commitment plays a very, very vital role, right? We do not want sincere people nowadays in this particular world. We want dedicated people, right? Making a commitment involves dedicating yourself to something, either to a person or probably to a cause. But let me also give you a word of caution. Before you make commitment, think carefully. A commitment actually obligates you to do something, right? Understand? I repeat, the commitment actually obligates you to do something. And let me also assure you that the phenomenon of commitment is a cornerstone of human social life, right? It's a cornerstone of every one of our life. And whenever it comes about commitment, one of the important example is what is called as Brooklyn Bridge. I hope all of you would have come across this Brooklyn Bridge. It was the first suspension bridge which was built in United States, which actually connected Brooklyn to Manhattan City. This was in 1883, right? Now, this project of constructing the Brooklyn Bridge was given to a duo of father and son, John Roebling and Washington Roebling. John Roebling is a father and his son is Washington Roebling. And they were very happy and very enthusiastic in constructing this Brooklyn Bridge, actually, right? But then fate had its own plans for this father and son. After a couple of months of starting of this particular bridge, both father and son fell from a top, right? Accidentally, they fell from a top. A tragedy happened with them, and father John Roebling died on a spot. It was a tragedy, right? And Washington Roebling was so severely injured that he was shifted within no time in an ambulance to a nearby hospital, correct? Multiple injuries, fractures, and almost paralyzed like this. And Washington Roebling was admitted to the hospital. Quite a good number of surgeries took place, and all these things happened. The entire project was stopped. It came to a halt because there was nobody to guide them, nobody to drive, and hence it became a stop. Actually, the whole United States thought that Brooklyn Bridge will not be constructed because the principal person, the principal resource person is no more, and his son is battling for death, right, in the hospital. But fate had again one more different plan of action. Quite a good number of time passed in the hospital, but Washington Roebling did not die. He started slowly showing signs of improvement. I'm not telling that he improved. He started showing slowly signs of improvement. And then one fine day, he was shifted to the ward, actually. Correct? So after some time, he was able to recognize his wife. If I recollect, his wife's name was Emily. His wife's name was Emily. Washington Roebling's wife's name was Emily. So he was able to recognize his wife, and he was able to recognize certain things Very slowly was able to move his hands, but not to a very large extent. And then suddenly certain things started in the hospital. You know what, believe me, right? Every night, Washington Roebling's wife used to come to the hospital, sit next to his bed, and then Washington Roebling used to catch his wife's left hand like this, and with his own right hand, he used to tap something like this, used to tap on his wife's left hand. Initially, his wife could not understand as to what my husband is talking about, what he's trying to tell me through this sign language, right? And then slowly, she also started understanding, because everything requires time in this world, understand. That is why I always say that time is the solution of all problems. So everything requires time. So slowly, Washington Roebling's wife started understanding what he's telling. And then what used to happen was Washington Roebling used to tap on his wife's hand, and then she used to understand it. She used to make a note of what he was telling. Whole night this exercise was happening. And then next day morning, whatever she had scribbled over a piece of paper, she used to go to the construction place, the construction site, and instruct the other engineers as to what they should do towards the progress of the completion of the Brooklyn Bridge. And believe me, for 13 long years, for 13 long years, Washington Roebling's wife used to spend whole night with her husband, trying to figure out what he's telling, making a note of it, next day morning going to the construction site, giving instructions to the people over there. And my dear, after 13 long years of this struggle, Brooklyn Bridge was constructed. Understand? That is the phenomenon of commitment, which is a cornerstone of human social life, actually. And when Brooklyn Bridge was finally constructed, the President of the United States came to personally see, Roebling in the hospital. And then when he came to see Washington Roebling in the hospital, he said that not only me, the entire country is proud of you and your accomplishment. We are very much grateful to you and your wife that you have completed this task of Brooklyn Bridge, which was initiated by your father quite a number of years, almost close to 2 decades back. And hence, as a mark of respect to you, as a token of gratitude to you, right, we have decided that the bridge which connects the Brooklyn to Manhattan will not be called as a Brooklyn Bridge. It will be called as Washington Roebling Bridge. To this, Washington Roebling said, "My dear President, I am extremely thankful for the gesture you have honored on me. But let me tell you that this particular bridge was a dream project of my father, and hence I do not want to take a single millimeter dream from him. Let this bridge be called as Brooklyn Bridge." To this, President was extremely happy, and that is the reason, right, Brooklyn Bridge is called as a Brooklyn Bridge and not as Washington Roebling Bridge. Next day morning, right, the President of United States, inaugurated the Brooklyn Bridge, and Washington Roebling and his wife could see lot of vehicles actually flying, on that particular Brooklyn Bridge from this way, from Brooklyn to Manhattan and Manhattan to Brooklyn, both the sides. You could see the whole day Washington Roebling spent time in seeing the vehicles actually flying on the bridge. And let me tell you, right, the very next day after the inauguration, Washington Roebling died in the hospital. That is called as commitment, right? Not only commitment by Washington Roebling, it was also a commitment by his wife named Emily, right? That's why I say it is a cornerstone of our human social life. We need committed people to get the task on this earth done, right? Washington Roebling's wife took over the duties after he was no longer able to get to the construction site himself, right? You cannot expect somebody to be in the construction site when you are so much severely injured. And that was the situation of Washington Roebling. Even though his wife was not an engineer, but she understood the plans so thoroughly that she could converse with other engineers and could see the result at the end of the day. The beautiful Brooklyn Bridge even now stands connecting between Brooklyn and Manhattan. So whenever you get an opportunity to visit United States, definitely let us hope this pandemic gets over earlier, right? Please have a look at this Brooklyn Bridge. It's just an amazing piece of work done by a human being. Attention to small details, right? Most of the time we ignore small things in life. Take care of small things. That is what is my philosophy. Take care of small things. Automatically the big things will fall in place, right? I would like to give you this example of small thing. Here is a person, a sportsman by name Jigoro Kano, right? Jigoro Kano was actually a Japanese educator and an athlete who is the founder of this sports called as judo, right? Judo, as you all know, was the first Japanese martial art to gain widespread international recognition, and it was first to become an official Olympic sports. Now, Jigoro Kano is considered to be the world's largest black belt holder. Now, what do you mean by largest black belt holder? Largest black belt holder means the person who is expert in judo, right? He is not a fresher. He is not a person who is trying to learn judo for the first time. That means he was master of this particular game. In the sense, nobody can defeat Jigoro Kano. Now, once what happened, Jigoro Kano was not doing well and he was about to die. So he was lying on his deathbed, and he called all his pupils over there, I mean all his students, and he was giving them some inputs because teacher will always give inputs. So he was giving them some inputs even though he was lying on his deathbed. And he told to one of his student, hey, please go and get me white belt. Now that student did not bother much, and he just ignored what his teacher said, and he was just keeping quiet. And Jigoro Kano could see that mentality, attitude of his student, and he said to another student, hey, you go and get me white belt. That student also did not respond. So like this, Jigoro Kano gave instructions to 3 to 4 or 5 students and asked them to get white belt. But the fact is, none of his students listened to him. And for this, after some time, Jigoro Kano feels very bad. He feels upset as to why his students are not listening. And that is what I see in most of the students' community today, right? So with due respect, 70% of the students' community do not listen as to what is good for them. That is told by all people in this world who want their success to be seen, right? And then Jigoro Kano feels very bad about this. And then he little bit raises his voice and says, I don't understand as to why you people are not listening to me. I am telling you to get me white belt from past couple of minutes, and none of you is bothered to get me white belt. Why? What happened to you? Now to this, one of his students comes closely and says, sir, we are extremely sorry that we are not listening to your orders or your instructions, right? But at the same time, we want to tell you that we are not going to get you white belt at any cost. Now Jigoro Kano gets surprised. I said, I mean, if I am asking you to get the white belt, what is your problem? To that particular question, the student says, sir, you are the world's largest black belt holder, right? Now, let me cut this for a minute and then tell the audience that in the field of judo, the white belt is actually given, or the white belt is actually worn by that particular person who is new to judo, who is about to start learning judo. To such type of people, the white belt is worn. So Jigoro Kano's student says, sir, you are the world's largest black belt holder. Why should you wear a white belt? Now to this, Jigoro Kano says, my dear son, I know that I am the world's largest black belt holder. But believe me, I am facing the death for the first time. And since I am facing the death for the first time, I need white belt. They are all stunned and surprised. So what I want to tell you with this is, we have to give attention to small details in life, correct? Let me match this with the ongoing pandemic actually, correct? as you know, as days progresses, we are seeing the number of cases so much in our country, in every state, and all those things. Correct. We have to give attention to small details, right? The government, the stakeholders, the competent authorities are telling us to keep certain things in mind in terms of wearing the mask, sanitization, and social distancing. But then when I look, I find so many people are not following this. Right, a small thing we have to do it. Right, for a couple of days, I'm very sure the entire country will face this pandemic and get rid of this bloody coronavirus, out of the country. Actually, I'm damn sure we are all capable of doing it. But let us give attention to small details. Correct. I'm not telling that we are not brave. Right. That doesn't mean that you go and stand on the railway track and tell the train to come and run over him. No. Let us be careful. Let us give attention to small details. Wearing mask is very small thing. Let us give more attention to that. Right. That is what I wanted to tell you, that it's extremely important to give more attention to small things in life. One of the great American philosopher and psychologist by name Professor William James of Harvard University had said that the greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. And that is what was correctly said by Dr. Sudhir in his introduction speech, that attitude is actually the passport of better tomorrow. Now, this is what it is. See, attitude is everything. How many of you would love to be like this? You have your own photo like this, happily smiling with your wife or with your husband, and your age is 90 years and your wife's age is 80, 84, 85 years. So life is so beautiful, healthy, and fantastic, right? So, I would love to have my life like this. There's absolutely nothing wrong in that. So before I dwell into the second last aspect of my talk is what is called as zones of life. Now, I'm not telling zones of life is something like, we have 3 zones in this pandemic actually, the red zone, the orange zone, and the green zone. I'm talking about zones of life actually, which is there, which will be there in any pandemic. Right? The pandemic zones are on the top of the zones of life actually. Now, what are these?
Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. We are not getting your voice, sir. Hello. For last half minute. Hello. Hello, sir. I guess his mic is mute. Sir, your mic is mute, sir.
Someone have muted speaker mic.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Cool.
I know somebody has muted my mic. How is it possible actually? Now this is pandemic, right?
This is pandemic. Anything is possible.
Everything is possible.
Yeah,
Everything is possible.
This was done by Sakidan and Chaturvedi Act. I guess.
Okay, shall I continue?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so this is your comfort zone, and this is where your magic happens, right? Now, let me give you 4 zones of life. According to me, the first one is a comfort zone. Correct? Now, this comfort zone is how it is defined. It is a behavioral state within which a person operates in a very anxiety-neutral condition and delivers a steady level of performance. You are safe and you are controlled. Comfort zone, monotony of life. You are comfort at your home because your mother prepares good food. Your dad has given you all facilities. You come to the college, not bothered about the attendance, not bothered about the marks. You get everything free of cost, and then you become a graduate. How you become a graduate is a very big question. But then you are very safe in the comfort zone. right? Now, how many successful people do you know who have delivered a steady level of performance in this comfort zone, right? Now, the goal in your life is to continuously challenge yourself. Please make an attempt to come out of your comfort zone. How long you will be in comfort zone, right? See, you are born, you will throughout your life, you will be in comfort zone, and then one day you will go to the graveyard. And that's the prime reason I said 95% of the world's population do not have any clue as to why you are getting up in the morning. Correct? So it is extremely important for you to come out of the comfort zone, continually strive, struggle to improve yourself, right? And let me tell you, once you do all these things, your life will start to change in the ways you could never have imagined. Correct? When you come out of the comfort zone, it drives you towards a life filled with greater purpose and fulfillment. So you come out of the comfort zone, you are into the fear zone, right? So that is the second stage of our life, second zone of our life, what we call it as transcending the fear zone. So what all you have in this fear zone? You lack self-confidence, you find excuses, affected by others' opinion. Let me give you a simple example, right? Most of the time I give example related to the studies because I'm a teacher, I'm a professor by profession, right? You give majority of the teachers, you agree with me that you give assignments to the students and tell them to submit in the deadline, correct? And you find lot of students coming with excuses. And with this ongoing pandemic, one of the important excuses is, sir, wo network nahi tha, sir. Sir, I have a very low bandwidth. I have that problem, I have this problem. Now, I mean, I'm not telling that I don't believe the students, but majority of them, I will not believe every one of you, right? Network problem, right? You have network problems, then you are affected by others' opinion. Somebody say, "Arey, chodo yaar." Anyhow, at the end of the day, they are going to give the marks. Why to do this and all those things? And for all those who want to do a little bit, they lack self-confidence. They are not sure as to how they should land up writing the assignment. Correct? Let me tell you, not a single human being on this earth is immune to fear. We all have it, and it's actually installed in us to keep us safe. It's why we don't run out into traffic. We don't go out in the traffic. We don't stick our hands into the fire, or we don't walk down dark, dark alleys alone at the night because we are fear, right? We don't put our hands in the fire because dar lagta hai yaar, right? But there comes a point where safe is too safe. Safety becomes dangerous sometimes because it prevents us from growing and becoming the person what you want to be, right? Now, I do agree that we should not put our hands in the fire, but that doesn't mean that we should come out of our fear zone, right? So, if we logically know that leaving our comfort zone is not dangerous, right? Why are we still engulfed in the fear zone? If you feel that fear zone is something that will stop my life, then you better be in comfort zone. Don't come out of it. Because once you are in fear zone, you need to move forward. That's what my arrow says to you. You need to move forward and take yourself from the existing fear zone to what is called as learning zone. Right? Now, this particular zone is like a purgatory. We are out of the fear zone, but still things are very chaotic. Things are confusing. We are not really sure what actually we are doing, right? And we are actually expanding, expecting the rapid growth and expansion to happen in this zone because we are going to meet new obstacles, new problems in every corner of our life. And that's okay. As long as we are, meeting new problems of our life, it's fine. We meet obstacles at every corner of the stage, right? Now, what are the things you have in this learning zone? You deal with challenges and problems, right? Now, problems who are not having? Every one of us is having a problem. Born as a human being, we have database of problems with us. Show me one person on this earth who do not have a problem. You know what? If you do not have a problem, you become a god. And I don't think any one of us is God here, right? So what is important is once we have problems, let us deal with that particular problem. Not everything in this world is actually called as a problem, right? I give a different session on problems and how to face it, so I'm not going to cover in this. But every one of us in this world has got a problem and we need to deal with it, right? Because each new level or every next level of our growth comes with new and often more complex challenges and problems which we do not know how to manage. And let me tell you, this particular zone, the so-called learning zone, prepares to take on those new challenges, right? You acquire your new skills to tackle these problems of life and move forward. That means what? You actually extend too much yourself beyond the comfort zone. Be like a learning machine who is always in strive, in font of, now in pursuing the newer and newer skills. Look for various lessons in life. Work on your skills and your mindset, both, because both are needed to be strengthened for you to move from the learning zone to what is called as the growth zone. And that is my last zone of life, according to me, right? Soaring into the growth zone. A journey from comfort to growth zone via fear and learning is just awesome in this beautiful planet, on this beautiful planet Earth, in between birth and death. You have now reached your final destination, what is called as growth zone. Right? Soak it up. Admire the compounding effects of all the hard work you have put to come to this particular zone. Find the purpose of your life. Set new goals. Live your dreams and conquer objectives. I told you a couple of minutes back, no amount of misfortune can ever diminish your dream, even by 1%. Live your dreams. Chase your dreams and ensure at the end of the day, the dreams become true. Correct? The dreams become true. There's no point going to the graveyard, right, with all the dreams with you. You are trying to bury your dreams with yourself, with your body in the graveyard. Where is the growth? Correct? Welcome yourself in this highest zone of life and evaluate how you can use this zone, expanded version of yourself, which according to me is, right? Growth zone is nothing but expanded version of yourself to better serve the world and create a more fulfilling life. That's what I said. Why can't the world be a better place? Because of my own presence. You must never be fearful about what you are doing when it is right, told by Rosa Parks. Definitely. Why you should be fearful about what you are doing when it is right? That means you are very confident about what you're doing. And when you are confident, just go ahead. You know, because I have a philosophy in my life. What you think about me is none of my business. I just don't care. As long as if whatever I'm doing is right, I just don't bother anybody in this world. So, are you ready to come out of your comfort zone? Right? You can put your answers in the chat box. We'll have a look at it at a later stage. But are you ready to come out of your comfort zone? I wish nobody say no. And if you want to come out of your comfort zone, take a piece of paper and write one line as to why you want to come out of your comfort zone. I'll just give you 20 seconds. You know why you want to come out of your comfort zone? Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. That's it. You do not want to come out of comfort zone just because Guru Prasad told you right now, or probably there's a webinar conducted by Buddha Institute of Technology. No, you want to come out of your comfort zone because you know your actual life, what you want, actually begins at the end of your comfort zone. So let me go to the last point of my session talk, that is called as attitude. The theme of this entire 3 days webinar is what is called as attitude. Whatever I have told you so far in terms of monotony of life, the smile, the motivation, the commitment, attention to small details, and then love your work, all this comes if you have an attitude. Now, when I say if you have an attitude, you should not have an attitude. You should have a positive attitude. And one of the greatest industrialists that our country has produced, Jamshedji Tata ji, J.R.D. Tata had said once that one word that can make all the difference in this world is attitude. And he says, you lift your attitude and you will lift your life. Let me take you to this word called as attitude, and a small truth to make life 100%. If the 26 alphabets of English is numbered as 1, 2, 3 up to 26, where I say A is 1, B is 2, and Z is 26, let us see how different terminologies of our life has got its own weightage. And you cannot deny this. If I add the numbers of the word called as hard work, it comes as 98%. You can check it out afterwards at your leisure, right? I am good at mathematics, so it comes out to be 98%. If you take knowledge, it comes out to be 96%, right? And please look at the top right side of my screen. I have very clearly told, feed your head, remove everything, open your head, break your skull, and put this in your head that attitude matters a lot. To hell with your knowledge, to hell with your degree, to hell with your finance and all those things. Lift your attitude, all these things will fall in place automatically. Love, 54%. Correct? I mean, don't you think everybody gives so much importance to the love? In engineering college, a guy has got a girlfriend, and if girlfriend doesn't talk to him, he feels bad. And if that girlfriend goes with somebody else, you land up committing suicide. But see the life, love is only 54%, man. Just 4% above 50, that's all. And you are giving so much importance to this. Luck, 47%. And majority of you think that this is most important. Correct? A student fails in the exam, sir, kya kare sir, the paper was tough sir, kya kare? Hamesha mere saath hi aisa hota hai sir, pata nahi. Correct? Your girlfriend teaches, kya kare sir, my bad luck. And some people tell, sir, my bad luck is running very bad nowadays. Right? I just don't understand this. Then what actually makes life 100%? Is it money? No. Money makes only 72%. Leadership, 89%. Every problem has a solution, only if we perhaps change our attitude. And to go to the top, to that 100%, my dear, what we really need to go further, a little bit more, and that is called as attitude. And this is attitude which is 100%. And that's why I said, it is our attitude towards life and work that makes our life 100%. Very rightly, beautifully said by Tata ji, lift your attitude and you lift your life. This is how a positive attitude looks like. See, fantastic, right? So charming face and a small, beautiful smile, and a lady down with both her hands on the face. Of course, in this pandemic, do not keep your hands on the face. Be a little bit careful. But then it is not that she's very sad. She's probably thinking something or giving a very beautiful look to her boyfriend. See, how does the positive attitude actually looks like? What are the benefits of positive attitude? I'll just run through this. You can see the solution in a problem. You can lead when you think positive. You can face your fear, which helps you to come out of the fear zone. It's a cornerstone of success. You can handle criticism wisely. You can say goodbye to your mental stress. Definitely it cultivates happiness. Earn more trustworthy friends. And positive people can take the risks in life. Correct? So my suggestion is always be with positive people. You're not going to lose anything. Understand? Right? But if you are with negative people, what happens? That's what I said. Hang around with positive people. What are you losing? It doesn't matter. Right? Whether it is a friend or a teacher or somebody at home, just hang around with positive people. I'm not telling that world is not only full of positive people. There are negative people also. Right? But try to change them. If you cannot change, it's fine. You don't get converted from positive to negative. That's a totally a wrong sign. You are going on the different phase of this particular planet actually. So what are the benefits of negative attitude? These are the benefits. The problems as such. You see problems where others see opportunities, and that's the difference between a positive person and a negative person. A positive person will always find a solution in a problem, and a negative person will always find a problem in the solution. Right? It's a very thin line difference between a positive and a negative guy. Your thinking is less creative. You have less inspiration. When you yourself do not know as to why you get up in the morning, how you are going to inspire others. Correct? So there is no motivation with you. So how can the surrounding get motivated? Your health is worst because you're already stressed. The world is more of negative people, hence greater pool of friendship is there. And you are less influential. Being negative person, you cannot have impact on anybody else on this earth. Let me tell you very honestly, correct? You will have very few friends. If you're a positive attitude guy, you'll have very few friends. But let me tell you, it's worth having such type of friends. It does not matter. It does not really matter, right? And if somebody is a real friend with you, of you, let him or her be more positive than you. That's extremely important, right? That's why I said you are less influential. Why can't the world be a better place? Because of my presence. And it's a purposeless life, right? A journey from birth to death, directly to the graveyard without doing anything, right? Just a comfort zone when you are born, and while going to the graveyard also, you'll be going in a comfort zone because 4 people will carry you and you are not doing anything. You are just lying there doing absolutely nothing. So remember, a positive attitude will produce and maintain success. On the other hand, a negative attitude will induce and guarantee failure. With a bad attitude, you can never have a positive day. But let me tell you, with a positive attitude, you can never have a bad day. Extremely important. Start your day with a positive note. It does not matter, right? Thank God for giving you next 24 hours of life. We are all strangers for futures. We do not know what is going to happen with us. We sleep in the night with the hope that we are going to get up in the morning, right? When you guys go to the college, your mother is having a hope that once the college is over, my son or daughter will come back to home, right? When you come out to the college for work, your spouse at home is always having a hope that my husband or my wife will come back home. So life only runs on hope. बस जिंदगी एक भरोसे पे चलती है, बाकी कुछ है ही नहीं इस जिंदगी में. Research has revealed that almost all successful people in this world knew the purpose of their existence. If you don't have hope for the future, you have no power in the present, right? And successful people don't do great things. They only do small things in a great way, correct? Please understand, there is nobody who was born as a successful person. Every person is born the same way, how every one of us are born. It is we who basically take the challenges of life, face the challenges of life in a more positive direction, lifting the attitude of our life, and we do become successful in this life by doing things in a different way, correct? Let me give you a simple example of this successful story and then I'll wind out my session, probably in another 10 to 12 minutes. One day, a partially deaf 4-year-old child came with a note in his pocket from his teacher. Your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Get him out of the school. Mother felt very bad. His mother read the note and answered, my Tommy is not too stupid to learn. I will teach him myself. This is a real story. It is not hooked up by me. His mother says, my 4-year-old son, whose name is Tommy, is not stupid. I will teach him myself because I know the capability of my son. Believe me, and that Tommy grew up to be none other than the great Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling. Modern psychology would have labeled him a victim of attention deficit syndrome because of his habit of questioning almost everything. Anything you ask him, you will have a question to him. That is why psychology says he is an attention deficit syndrome victim guy. Thomas Edison, throughout his life, relentlessly worked to invent things that would improve the quality of life on this planet Earth. He got 1,093 patents in his 84 years of life. Amazing, right? A guy who did not go to school has 1,093 patents and never stopped coming up with new ideas. That's why I said attitude is extremely important. Commitment is extremely important to come up in life. The formal education is just a simple step, a single step, which does not define everything for any one of us actually. In a tribute to this man who lit the world, lights in United States were dimmed for 1 minute on October 21st, 1931, a few days after his death. So what I would like to tell to all of you from this story is, do not sit on an ivory tower and invent things that nobody wants. Please come out of your comfort zone. Go to the growth zone via fear and learning zone. You will find obstacles, no problem. You are capable of facing these obstacles. Get rid of the problems and you will see the result at the end of the day. Every dark tunnel should have a sunlight opening. You know what? Most of the miracles in history were performed by ordinary people like you and me. Who made the computer? Again, a human being. It was not made by God. Who performed the first heart surgery? Again, by a human being. Why do we not do such spectacular deeds in our life? Why don't we do such type of deeds in our life and lead life with an example so that generations to come should always remember you as a person who was worth on this earth? You know why we don't do such type of things? A simple reason is we do not have nothing. We have nothing to wake up for. And this is what my first slide was telling. 95% of the world's population or humanity do not have any clue as to why they get up in the morning. You have got only one life, and it's totally up to you whether you would like to act on it or be acted upon. Happiness and joyfulness is very simple. Please do not complicate it by thinking too much about it. Enjoy your life. Your life is a precious gift given to you. Do you know why? Your life is a precious gift given to you without your asking. Did somebody take your permission to bring you on this earth? Nobody. You came on this earth. Nobody invited you to come on this earth. Correct? And here we are behaving like, in a totally inhuman way, actually. So I personally feel your life is a precious gift given to you without your asking. Let us enjoy this only life that God has given to us on this beautiful planet Earth, and then do our duty to its best, to its fully satisfaction, and then leave this world and have a comfortable journey to the so-called graveyard. It gives you a great opportunity to realize your dreams and become whatever you want you to be. Give it a push with enthusiasm and confidence and see how far you can take it on the path to peace, joy, success, and happiness. You do not have to feel helpless and lost in the monotony of life. That's what I said. Come out of the monotony of life. Enjoy your life. It doesn't matter one day you don't achieve something. It's fine. Unless you want to wallow in self-pity and misery and find every excuse to avoid taking control of your life, right? So fear zone, extremely important. Learning zone, equally important. And that's what I have resolved the problem here and now by making a strong self-commitment to take charge of your life and break free from the habitual patterns of your mind. Come out of your comfort zone, monotony of life. Make a strong commitment yourself with whatever task you're doing. Give your best. Put your entire soul and heart in that particular task and see how beautiful is this life, how beautiful is this world with you and your surroundings. When you go with all your heart. I wish you all success in life.